Hey, so if you're sick of this game, this video is probably not going to help you too much, but you can leave a comment down below and maybe it'll help another newbie player who isn't quite as epic as you are. Okay, before we get into what the abilities do, pros and cons, why you should play Adriana. Cons, her win rate's really low right now, she's really hard to learn and it'll take a bit, and even if you do learn her, you can fuck up pretty easily. Pros, I think she's kind of fun, fire goes brrr. Alright, so let's get into it. What does she do? Passive. If you set things on fire, they burn the target. It slows them and the burn stacks. You also get additional SP, which is the little mana bar underneath, while the fire is active. This means you're not going to be drained late game for any mana or SP, so that's kind of hype. Q is her flamethrower, pretty short cooldown. What it does is it just does true damage, easy enough, in one direction. Her W, the oil slick, pretty cool. You can use more than one in a fight because it is charged. When you oil slick someone, all of a sudden they're moving a little slower. You can set that on fire by using your Q, E, your alt, pretty much everything. Next ability is the fire escape, that is her E. She dashes and she leaves a little trail of fire behind you, so it's pretty tough to chase her. It's pretty tough. People who aren't gonna like that, they give up on you a lot, and you can go through walls and shit, so it's pretty easy to get away from people. Alright, and then her alt is her Molotov cocktail. You throw it, and they set on fire. It also has some knockback, so if you're trying to kite people towards and away from you, that's kind of hype. Adriana's weapons. Throw. That's it. Enjoy it. Alright, we are in the practice range. Just introduced. Kinda hype, I know. So, one thing I forgot to mention is smokescreen. In this area, vision, movement speed, those are reduced. I don't think it's great, but it's something I spam in fights. It's another movement speed control ability. Also, just to credential myself, I played like 100 hours of her. I kind of know what I'm doing. Again, I'm not amazing at the game, so I went through a bunch of high top tier player streams and kind of asked them, hey, what are your thoughts on Adriana? And this is what I arrived at. So a few things is the typical encounters are going to be they're either running at you, right? So you can just put the oil slick down, set it on fire. Pretty straightforward. One thing to note is they do lose that movement speed debuff when you do set it on fire, so they're going a little slow in this. So if you just want to get away, you might be better off just throwing an oil slick and getting out of there. Okay, the next thing. So a big part of her control is going to come from her Molotovs. See how big this range is? Super nice. So if you're over here and you see a person, the first engage you can do, just bring them back to you. The flamethrower actually cancels a little early in this mode, but say you are pointing the flamethrower in the wrong direction, it's as easy as just canceling it and moving on. Alright, so one thing that you're gonna get used to is there's a few different ways to start engage. Boom. They're going to run that direction. You typically want to put your oil slick the way they're running, because the longer they run through it, the longer you can set them on fire. Another thing is you can also engage with your R, which is something I like to do, because then you can see what direction they go. Say they go that direction, you can oil slick them. And then, what do you know? Just fry them, and there goes a bunch of their health. So one thing that I do a lot if they're coming at me is boom, boom, knocks them back, and they're in the fire longer, right? So pretty much your objective is trying to keep them on fire as long as possible. So for monsters and camps, it's pretty easy. I like farming with her. You just throw your W, then Q away. It's a little glitchy in practice tool. They still have a few kinks to work out, but it's pretty easy. Wolves, I really like farming because you can double up on them. If I can ever get my flamethrower working. That's crazy. That's crazy it did that. But initially you just hold it down. Let me try on these wolves. Let me see if I can get it a little better. Yeah, there we go. I don't know why it wasn't working on the first set. Practice tool is a little glitchy. Maybe it's because I got the auto cooldowns on. And then one thing that I really like for the boars, obviously you start like this. You can either dash through them, or you can just extend the trail, and it keeps going. Most people just extend the trail because you want to hold on to your E. So, say you're just getting messed up by this guy, then you disengage and you think he's going to jump back, you can actually extend how long the fire trail goes there, right? So, all of this area was just covered by fire, and if you have a second one, you can just keep it going, right? Okay, here are the builds and the pathing that I typically like. I pulled a lot of them off of the tool they have that helps you find builds. The first one is going to be a weird factory cemetery chapel route, but for this video I'm going to show you the more standard avenue to archery range, school, so on. I think most Adriana players play that. And then the last one is going to be if you want that gold item, which hits really hard, but you have to build a second item because there's only like 9 charges on it. So it's pretty tough to use just like farming stuff. But here we start, we're just going case to case, clicking as fast as we can. I think if you've looked up most gameplay for good players, they're moving a little quicker than this, but not to toot my own horn, but I'm looking pretty clean on this run, just looking for one more cloth. If I don't get it, not the end of the world. I can go pick it up at hotel, but I do get it, so that's hype. I'm crafting my bottle and my shoes here, mostly so I can drop that baseball and drop that ball out of my inventory. I'm kind of a neat freak. The quicker I can get that out of my inventory, the nicer it feels. The chocolate pies, I think, are the best food source on this route early. I just grab the chocolate in either avenue or up in archery, and then I combine it with the bread. Other than that, I'm just going to craft my purple item as soon as I can get it. As soon as you get the purple item, you can start farming. I don't think I take many farm until I get down to school because nothing's spawning right now. We're that quick. I'm greeting a little bit for the hat. Probably don't need to do that because I can pick that up in school as well, but you might as well click on these boxes as you go by. So pretty much school here. I think looking back on this, I'm gonna greed a little bit for the cloth or for a few items. But pretty much in school, as long as you get everything except the coat, the bow, and the helmet, I think you're chilling because those things can be found along the way going forward. So the more you run the route, the more things are going to click like that. Like, oh, I got what I need. Like, I'm fine. I can pick this up later. Or, oh, maybe I want to spend like an extra like 20 seconds, 10 seconds, like going through and making sure I get a lighter. Those are the kind of things you think through. Every route's different. I play around and see which ones you like, see which ones you hate. This one I actually really enjoy. I've seen pretty much the mixed amount of success with the other ones, while this one's been pretty overwhelmingly successful. Also, if you're looking for like, hey, what route should I pick? I try a few and maybe look at DAC.gg to see what some of the best players are running. I'd look at some of the top players, filter by that, and see what kind of builds they're putting in. So right here, I'm grading a few builds. I should be running over to hotel a little bit quicker because by day 1, there's going to be a spawn, a tree of life down there between hotel and the beach, or rather forest. It's going to spawn like right then. You can pick that off like half the games, and if someone contests you, just tablet real quick, look at their level, see if it's fight you win. Most of the times you're going to be fighting with like Leos and Lennox, those kind of players. Occasionally a Jackie will swoop down. And then once I have everything, I don't have the little hubcap, so I'm gonna head down to the beach and pick that up. I saw someone on the wolves. Usually I'll take those because wolves are super free for Adriana, But I was like, I'm just gonna go grab what I need for the video's sake. But I could have peeked it and taken a fight there. I like to just peek at them and get some vision and see if like I can stat check them. That's why vision is so nice, and that's why I pop vision pretty much after the third zone everywhere I go. That's why I went straight to the console. And you can get a lot of vision through the bats and just finding the binoculars in chest. Kind of hype, I know. Beach is usually a lot more crowded than this. It's typically where the fights are gonna start in your pathing. But I usually avoid fights until I get the metal sheet, because one, that will fill one of your slots and it will get you full armor. It just does so much for you, so I typically kind of hold off till then. Most people are showing up here with at least 6 things in it, one thing in every 6 slots, excuse me. But yeah, cool. I think I pick up the items to complete my build here. Other than that, you can roam up to forest, try to contest that tree of life, get you some nice sparkly high heals. After that, I'm typically looking for fights, or I'm looking for food. This game, I'd probably look for some food. I just got my Choco Pies, and I got some drinks here. You don't really need to build any SP items on Adriana, because her passive replenishes your SP so freely. But yeah, just play for a week after this point, and that's pretty much all you need to know. It's an Adriana recap. About 100 hours, how the fuck could I beat that? Hit him with a skill shot, cams in my slot, 3P with my R, get a kill, Millie rock, now we go for the wick. Hit him with the oil slick, light it up with Q, buffs hit like a brick. Melees cannot touch me, fuckboy shit Sandusky. You can always flee if you hold that fucking E. We're so sick we gave our distance, build attack with no resistance, did it all and still lose. Now we question our existence.